Welcome back to Truth No Chaser, real talk for real people.
Even when it burns.
It's your girl Ashley.
And Jay.
And Frank.
And we have two.
Yes, sir. Two
guests.
Yeah.
Of course, the most fashionable person in the world, Miss Ashley Nicole. And
Nicole.
our past guest dropped by.
Yeah, just
the
say what
busy,
up to us. Yes.
busy Zero the Composer.
Zero the Composer.
Out here dropping beats and stuff.
My man Zero.
How's it going, y'all?
Killing it.
One of y'all can say something.
Either one of y'all.
Either one of y'all.
Yeah.
Don't race.
You gotta turn that up.
All right,
Turn it up again. Say it again.
Oh, it's going good.
Going good. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Ash, how you doing?
Yes. So y'all are invited to the No Chaser portion of the show.
Mm-hmm.
And every week, I say it time and time again, Mr. Frankie comes up with these questions. I don't know where he comes up with them from, but he does. And he was inspired, I guess, this past weekend when he was away at a wedding for this question. And it's kind of deep. So I'm going to let Frankie Glenn take it away.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So the question for tonight, for our No Chaser portion, is how long is too long to hold on to toxic relationships? How long is too long to hold on to toxic relationships? Now, let me elaborate on that real quick, because I don't want you to think relationships in terms of your significant other. You know, this is all relationships. This is family members. This is friends. And the inspiration behind it is oftentimes we want to hold people in our lives well beyond their expiration date. You understand? We got people that we think we're supposed to be friends, or family members that we think we're supposed to keep in our lives just because we grew up with them, and well, shit, I knew them since I was 3, or their family, their blood and stuff like that. But a lot of times those relationships turn sour. They're toxic. They're not good for you. They're not good for your soul. They're not good for your mental. And we feel obligated. So my question to you two and everybody here at this table is there a cutoff for even your most intimate relationships, whether it be, we know, significant other? I almost know what you're gonna say about that, but family, friends, whatever. So now you guys have the floor. Either one of you could. Ashley, ladies first. I'll let you. Yeah.
Our guest, Ashley Nicole.
You good?
Okay. You made a good point. I am an avid believer, and to me, time at this point in my life, I'm 31. Time does not matter to me. History does not matter to me. I have, even during this pandemic, it has allowed me to sit down and really just think. And because we've been friends, or because you've been in my life, or because of the history, what does that mean? What is that substance?
Right.
And that's to the point where I'm at now, is if it's not bringing anything that is, to me, if I'm sitting at a table with somebody, I need to be leaving learning something. I need to be leaving learning something that I didn't know, or we having a conversation that sparks interest in something that I had no idea about, or I'm learning something new. If it's nothing that you can bring to the table anymore, it's no love lost. It's no love lost. However, I just feel that there are levels to relationships, and we don't have to cut each other off. We don't have to be enemies. But I think at some point you just have to realize who you are, that you're the gift, that you're the asset. And if they're not bringing anything, it doesn't have to be something that's tangible or monetary, but just inspiration,
right?
Good conversation, good company. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And if it's to the point where they're not doing anything that can uplift you or bring something to the table, taking a back seat. Like I said, not necessarily cutting them off, but it doesn't have to be, hey, have an intervention. Hey, I'm done with you. Just kind of, for me, and my friends will laugh when they see this. I've been that person that I'll just back up. I'll just distance myself. Because I don't want confrontation, but I just know when I'm very observant, and when I start to notice something and see something, I just back up.
Gotcha.
I don't make a scene. I don't say, hey, we're done, we're enemies. But it takes time to get to that point, though, because you can be in something and it's clearly toxic, but you have to be able to realize who you are. And I think that's where it starts with. Who are you?
Yeah.
Because if you don't know who you are, if you're not secure, if you don't have confidence, how do you even know what toxic is? How do you know you're not toxic?
Ooh.
Amen.
That's the word.
Bro, I was getting ready to say that's the gospel
So
right there.
you have to.
That's a whole soundbite.
You have to know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, during this pandemic, I got to find out who I was, and then I kind of can see where I need to step back from.
Gotcha.
Who do I need to step back from? Who do I need to kind of, hey girl from afar, hey hey boy from afar. So it just depends on you. Who are you? Where are you in your life?
Gotcha.
And then that's when you say, okay, this is time. It's been too long. Maybe we should just kind of distance. Or so I just think it depends on the person.
I got to rebuttal that, but I want to hear from Zero. What you got for us? See, what's your take on that? Let's go.
I kind of agree. Well, not kind of agree. I agree with what she's saying. It's like, for example, everybody has a season.
Absolutely.
Everybody's not supposed to go with you everywhere you go.
Yeah.
I know when I first started doing music, I had a buddy of mine.
Yeah, you good. Keep talking.
I had a buddy of mine. We was real close. I had him be my manager when I first started. He started doing some shady stuff and but I knew that he was doing it, and I kept giving him the benefit of the doubt. All right, he's gonna change. I kept giving him chances after chances after chances.
Passive.
Yeah, and it was just like, I have to understand that I can't help. You can't help everybody.
Absolutely.
Some people is out there to help you succeed, and some is out there to help you fail.
Yeah.
So I had to let him go. Now I got a awesome team and everything. Now I've been rocking with my new team for about 12 years now. I also just added on another manager. So I got 2 managers. I added on an ATL manager, which is a woman. Her name is Sam. And the reason why I did that is because of, not to be funny or cliche, but women have a better way of communicating with people.
Okay. Yeah.
They
got the sense of like getting it done.
Yeah.
To them, right?
Yeah.
You understand?
And like, who's cool to work with, who's not cool to work with. And,
vibes.
Pick
up
and
on
everything.
vibes. Yeah.
Because as men, only way we ain't gonna talk to you is if you acting funny.
Right. It got to be
like,
clearly obvious so for us to catch on to shit.
So it's just like, all right.
Women got that intuition.
Yeah, so I'm kind of glad I let that toxic stuff go, but it's sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's hard, especially when you got a relationship with somebody and y'all been rocking for a long time.
Yeah.
It's just like, you don't really want to let them go, but like she said, you do have to just step back from afar, just like, nah.
Going around the table, Ashley Cochran.
Okay.
Ashley Cochran.
Everybody knows me. AC Speaks knows my book. Then I dealt with a lot of toxic relationships.
We have.
And Ashley Nicole said a lot of good things that I was like, yes. The main one was, if you don't know who you are. And that hit home for me, even when it comes to intimate relationships, when it comes to family relationships. Because if you don't know who you are, if you don't value who you are, you allow people to walk over you. Because you don't see your worth. So you're like, oh, they didn't mean it. You'll make excuses for them because I've known them forever, or I love him, or I love her. That's my sister. That's my brother. So you'll make excuses for that person because, you don't really value your worth.
Yeah.
So when it's too long, once you really get in tune and learn yourself and you know your worth and your value and what you bring to the table with any relationship, then that's the case when you realize, you know what, they're bringing me down and it's more drama and it's more stress in my life.
Amen.
You want to get to a place where you want peace. So one thing Pastor said, shout out to, Ray of Hope, about 2 years ago was boundaries. When you start creating healthy boundaries, you realize who got to go. And that's when you realize, okay, you're toxic for me. I love you, but I can love you from afar. We don't have to be best friends anymore. I love you as my sister or my brother, whoever the case may be. I love you, but I have to remove myself because you're bringing me down, and I'm going through turmoil, and I'm losing my hair edges, and I'm stressed out, and I'm crying, and it's too much. So again, I don't care who it is. I said before on AC Speaks, whatever. I don't care who that person is. If they're bringing you down constantly, and you're questioning yourself, and then you're even starting to doubt your worth again, that's toxic, and they have to go. So when you say too long, I don't know if there's a time frame, but more so when you start questioning everything about them and their movements and their loyalty and their trust. And you know what? Yeah, we're friends, and I've known you since I was 5, but we grew up. And as Zero said, it's a season. You knew me when I was 15, 20. I'm 35 years old, 36 years old now. I've grew up myself. I know who I am. I'm walking to my truth now. Unfortunately, where I'm going, God has not placed you in that season with me. So it's time for us to exit. And there's no love lost. There's no beef.
No
it's
love
just, you know what?
lost.
I'm growing up to say, you know what? I love you, but I'm going this way.
Gotcha.
So time frame, I don't know if there's actual time, but it's
That
more
you can
so
put
on
on
how
it.
you feel in that moment.
What's up, Jay?
You know, my first answer to the question was like, and I really have an issue with so many toxic relationships. I don't really fool with people like that,
Yeah.
including family.
Yeah.
I'm just a to myself kind of guy, and that's not a good thing necessarily, because I miss out on a lot of valuable relationships and valuable times. But you got to be in a lot. You have to have a lot of human relationships to experience a lot of toxic ones. And I just, you know, I don't have a lot of genuine human relationships. But one thing, you know, boundaries is big. You know, I'm 40 now. It took to me like age 38 and a half to really get a grasp on boundaries. I used to think people were being mean when they had boundaries, or I thought they was being extra. I didn't really get it.
Right.
And then I realized I didn't get it because I didn't have boundaries. And I would allow people to walk all over me, so to speak, and do whatever, and try to recoup or rehash the relationship or feel like it was my fault or things like that. And then I turned 40. That you don't have boundaries, you'll have them by the time you're 40. It's just certain things you don't have time for. But I had, once I established boundaries and I was okay with them. Like, no, it's okay to not take that. No, it's okay to take a stance with that. And because I would feel bad, like, you know, if you and I had a disagreement and I took a stance, like it was something that, not like a prideful thing, but I really took a stance on something that mattered to me. If me taking the stance made you feel bad, then that would affect me and make me adjust my stance. That, you know, loosen up my own boundaries. So now I had to get to the point where I say, no, this is important to me. This is a part of who I am. This means something. So I'm taking a stance on this. And I have to be okay with however you feel from that.
Yeah.
So when it comes to toxic relationships, I try, you know, and what I'm about to say, I don't say this to be like, oh, I'm better than anybody, anything like that. I feel like every one of us, especially those of us who are Christian believers, which is everyone at this table, we all naturally, just like we get some stuff from our DNA from our parents, we all naturally get some Christ-like DNA.
Right.
There's some stuff on us that's Christ-like that we don't struggle with. And everything else we might have to go kind of figure out, you know? So one of the things, so I guess that's where my compassionate heart comes in, or at least understanding heart for other people. So, and then it weighed out bad with not having boundaries, so to speak. So I try to be Christ-like in the sense of, which is kind of easy for me. There's a lot of other things for me that's hard to be Christ-like, but this one's easy. And this one is, you know, I don't kick people off from my table. I don't tell you leave my table. Everybody's welcome at my table. But if there's a boundary and you can't live with it, then I will allow you to excuse yourself because you can't function at the table.
Like enough rope to hang yourself, kind of.
It ain't even to hang. I mean, it's just.
I'm just using it.
It's on you.
Yeah.
You know, like we've seen that play out with one of my friends.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it's like, and I felt bad about that. I called you.
Yeah.
To make sure it was like, yo, was I okay?
Right.
Was I doing too much? You know, and that's still that compassionate heart way, and he reassured me, no, that's fine.
Yeah.
So that guy ended up leaving the table, and I was okay with that. And it's not that I kicked him, but he left it, and that's the way it is now. You know, and that's the way I kind of manage toxic relationships. I try to always self-reflect. What you said, I'm very, 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 very big on what you said. Making sure I reflect. Was I the toxic person in that situation? Am I the toxic? Because you know we see it every year. Everybody get rid of these toxic. You know, if you're getting rid of 25 toxic, 6 relationships a year, sometimes why the fuck are you attracting so many toxic relationships? It's time that you have a sit down with yourself. If it can't be everybody else every year. So that's just my little spiel on it.
See, so just to come to a complete round table. See, I love going after them sometimes because it's like-minded. You know, I can pick something from both of what they said and stuff like that, right? And the one thing that Ashley was saying was not knowing whether there's an actual time. And then Jay said we all have Christ-like attributes to us given down from our parents. All right. So I'm ignorant. I'm foolish in the sense of I ignore when God's told me it was time. You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes God puts it right out there for you and lets you know when it is the appropriate time to let go of that relationship, and I ignore the signs a lot.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
We're all guilty.
So, I got family members that I've outgrown. I see you're constantly headed in this direction. Like you said, no love lost. I love you because you're my cousin, but honestly, and I feel you, Jay, you lost sleep with what that dude said. You understand what I'm saying? And rightfully so.
Right.
That is the definition of toxic.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? But you losing sleep because you ignoring God telling you, you're doing this toss and turn, and God telling you what you doing that toss and turn for you. I'm telling you right now. You understand what I'm saying? This is it. You don't need this relationship anymore. So no matter how long it's been, like you said, no matter how long, shit, what I'm saying? I got blood cousins again. One of them in particular doesn't contribute anything worth value to my life. You understand what I'm saying? And it's always hell when I think about them. So why bother?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Why bother put that that frame, put me in that frame of mind. Ashley, commend you. I know her story personally now. You understand what I'm saying? So I know this was Ashley's the first person I thought of actually when I thought about this story, this question.
Yeah, me too when you said it.
Yeah. So I was like, let's go ahead and have this discussion, and it just so happened God sent a person of your personality 01 to stop by today. You understand what I'm saying? Jay had kind of giving me a little background on you, like how you saying that you're sort of an introvert. You are an introvert. So I knew. So I was like, damn, if he's gonna be on the show, then this definitely is a good topic for you to talk about. You understand what I'm saying? But this is not, again, we ain't putting it out there in the atmosphere that anybody at this table feels that we better, but we know somebody that's listening to this is gonna relate to us in this topic. Get rid of that, all that toxin, just like you get rid of toxins out of your body. You do the research on it and stuff like that. This is listen.
That's a good point.
Because
we want so much to have a good body. We gonna go to the gym. We gonna get on a keto plan. We gonna do all this. Why can't we put in the extra work to protect our peace when it comes to relationships?
When it comes to relationships,
protecting your peace is the older we get is
the older you get, right? The peace, your peace of mind is priceless.
It's because that stress is what wears you down. It makes you gain the weight, that makes you break out. Them saying it causes heart attacks and strokes. You're stressed.
Yeah.
And why would you let somebody else stress you out that bad where it's messing with your health? Yeah. And again, I'm so serious when I say I don't care who it is.
Care yourself,
I'm at a place now. I don't care who it is. I love you, but baby, no.
One of my best friends, man. Shout out to my man Jamal. Y'all know my man Jamal, but up in New York, man, he just like he be telling me like he get hypertension and all this over his eye, just sitting there like dog, you gonna drive yourself to the hospital, man. You were supposed to been get rid of that person. You know what I'm saying? So like, no, we all saying the same thing. I'm happy we all on the same page with that. You know what I'm saying?
So there is no time frame. We agree to that. There's
whenever God to let you know. Stop ignoring them signs. Whenever God lets you know, that's the time frame.
And I'm glad you said that again, because that is really key. Because you said God will show you people,
Damn sure will.
and we'll ignore it, and we'll say, "But no, maybe not. No, he didn't mean that. No, she didn't mean that."
I'm definitely guilty of that.
Because of that title, because of who that person is to you, or how long
Right.
you've known them.
Right.
Time don't mean nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like when God keeps showing you and showing you and showing you, stop ignoring those signs. Eventually, he said, "Well, you know what? You got it. Then you got it. Go deal with it then." 5 years down the line, you still in that same situation with the same person, still stressing yourself out for what?
You got
To know, like we, like you said, we're all, Christian and like-minded and kindred spirits at the table. But we can say, when God shows you, but you have to have a relationship with God for you to even hear and know what He sounds like. We can say all the time, "Oh God, you don't know you. How do I know what He feels? How do I hear? How do I know what He sounds like? How do I know when it's Him?"
Right.
So that it just goes to that foundation of having a relationship with God. And this is, everybody has their own,
Right.
beliefs, but like we said, us at this table, we can say that, we can speak on that wholeheartedly, because we can hear, we can feel, what God is saying. Now we choose, we say, and I chose to, but I still know what He sounds like. I still know that was Him. So I think that's where it starts. We have to have that first relationship. That first relationship has to be with God.
right.
And you have to be
Absolutely.
grounded in that.
Absolutely.
You have to be.
It's so crazy where we all talking about, to get all spiritual, but sometimes you gotta get like that, you know what I'm saying? But story of Sodom and Gomorrah, right? As toxic as that city was, right? You understand what I'm saying? So you have who's a lot that decided to look back because she just didn't want to let go. You understand what I'm saying? There's still a bit in her that didn't want to let go. God don't care.
Flex your Bible stories on me. I don't know.
God don't care how close she was. That was His wife.
That's what I'm saying.
You understand what I'm saying? God
Who
don't
that
care how
person
close she is.
is.
He said, listen,
Yes.
she wanted to turn back. She couldn't let it go. To salt you go. Your
Right.
ass keep moving.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So you don't want to keep moving. You don't want to go in the direction I'll go down. I ain't gonna preach, but whatever.
Yeah.
That's it.
Closest to you. It be the people that's the closest to you. That's
Always.
the
Always.
people that's the
Always.
don't do Tiffany like that.
No, she don't count because she is you.
Boy, that boy right there.
Drop the mic on that one. We out on that one.
After that,
We out on that one, Jay.
Shit.
Say that one more again. Say that one more again, Jay.
That was too good. They got
That was okay.
they got
Goals,
catch up
goals.
first.
They gotta pick up what he putting down. You understand what I'm saying?
If you missed it, you missed it.
Yeah, that was it. That was it.
So we talked about how we feel, but let's just drop some of the people that are watching.
Yes.
Solutions. The biggest thing I'll say for me is pay attention to the red flags. Notice the red flags and the signs. If it's messing with your spirit, it's messing with your head, your peace, your sleep, it's time to go.
Now repeat. Stop ignoring God, man. You know it. You know that you're doing it. I'm guilty of it. Like you said, y'all been guilty of it
we
before.
all have.
Stop ignoring God. The signs is there. So
Our
We
guests want to
good.
drop any last final jewels? I'm sorry.
any last one?
Look at Zero.
Introvert.
The microphone
Zero like-
again.
Zero like I-
Push the mic over there.
Zero, like I done said what I said.
Right. I'm trying to leave.
That's it. Zero trying to drink some more of this rum.
Well, I was just gonna say, take time to be still. Take time to be still, and I hate to say that it took something like the pandemic to sit me down, but I took time to be still. I picked up habits to just be to myself. I start walking by myself. I start writing. Like I start doing things to myself. And when you're still, you have your thoughts to yourself.
Yeah.
You think just take that time, and when you're clear, then you just start connecting the dots. Oh, I wonder what made her do that, or why would he do? You start connecting the dots when you're still, and you take time for yourself, and you step back.
Amen.
So that's what I would say, and you gain clarity in that.
Yes.
That's so.
God will sit you down. He'll
Yes,
sit you down. Now.
I would add for me, all communication and interaction in human relationships should be to uplift, edify, or encourage. And make sure so we say, what am I leaving this person with? I feel you on that. Make sure we're giving that same energy. Sometimes the situation is missing us giving the energy, and then we can say, that's not being matched. Because that's not really, it sounds like it's all deep, uplift, edify, and encourage, but it's not that deep.
Yeah. Ain't that hard.
It's not that hard. So
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, we appreciate Miss Ashley and Nicole. Drop your Instagram and Facebook, Instagram and website again, because they missed it on the last segment. I want them to check you out ASAP. And also, we're going to get Zero's information too.
Ashley Nicole. My website is ashleynicole.com, ashleynicolestyles.com, and my Instagram is ashleynicolestyles, the number 1.
And if you're into music and want some beats and all that great stuff, check out Zero, the composer. I'm sorry, give me your information, Zero.
You can find me on Instagram at 0_dub, but it's spelled with an A, THA, and then _composer. And then you can find me on Facebook as Isaiah Darty. That's pretty much it.
Well, we appreciate you guys stopping by as always, y'all. Don't forget about us when y'all blow up.
Yes, sir. Please don't.
All right, well, we out of here, y'all.
Yes, sir. Peace.
Check out next week.
Peace.
All right.
Truth. No chaser.